With immense pressures building up on the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, to resign from his position, are we likely to see this become a reality, or is this just more media scaring? And if this was to become a reality, what can you do right now to prepare for this situation? In this video, we're going to be going over what stocks could potentially erupt if this was to happen, what this means for the general market, and what circumstances this could actually happen under. So recently, President Trump has threatened to remove the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, but currently this move does not look to be legal, and there is many reasons as to why. So as many of you will know, the Fed is actually completely independent from the US government to basically counteract the probability of corruption within the system. As if the government was to actually own the Fed, this could potentially lead to hyperinflation, debt monetization, loss of faith within the currency, and capital flight. This would essentially give the US government a bargaining tool with the US economy, and it would allow them to set their own interest rates, which would obviously cause massive issues with corruption allegations. It could definitely lead to election cycles being manipulated in certain ways, that interest rates are really low just before the election, so the government looks to have done a really good job within their term. So if Jerome Powell was to be fired or let go under mysterious circumstances, this could definitely lead to a lot of volatility within the US market, but there are a few stocks in which could potentially see upside when this does happen. And when I do say when, I do mean if, because obviously it is very uncertain that this is a possibility at the moment. But in this video, we're going to be going over some stocks in which could potentially have an upside if this was to happen, so you can be positioned in the correct place at the correct time if this was to go ahead. So who is actually likely to replace Jerome Powell if he was to be fired? Well, first of all, we have Judy Sheldon, who is a gold standard enthusiast, a very dovish and anti-Fed independent candidate for this position. Furthermore, she will drive for a lower interest rate and a weaker dollar. Next up, we have Kevin Warsh, who is a former Fed governor. He is well connected with the Republican Party and more moderate than Shelton, but he does share concerns about the Fed overreach. He was on Donald Trump's personal radar in 2018 as a replacement for Jerome Powell. So both of these candidates, and there are many more, but these are the two most likely to gain that position if this was to go ahead. Both of these candidates are very keen to cut interest rates, and there would be a few companies in which would see massive gains in the market if this was to happen. So let's get straight into some stock analysis here to see where you should potentially hedge your bets in the future, but this is not financial advice, I should point that out. So one company in which could see a massive return would be Tesla. Why is this? Well, Tesla is one of the most rate-sensitive mega caps out there. However, despite this, this is not a stock in which I can recommend. I currently have Tesla to be listed in at a sell. My intrinsic valuations for Tesla are really, really low, but obviously we can see here that their PE is massively high at the moment, with it being all the way up at nearly 120. It's just something in which I cannot recommend a position in. I have a bullish intrinsic value set only at $31 and a bearish intrinsic value set at $21. And with the current price being set at $241, this stock just looks massively overvalued. On a 9-year discounted free cash flow growth, we can expect this stock to only be worth $22. And here we can see exactly how I conducted these equations. Furthermore, on Peter Lynch's valuation here, we can see that this company gives a result of 0.03, indicating it is massively overvalued. And on a discounted free cash flow analysis here, we can see exactly how these numbers were crunched too. Tesla do actually have a really strong retention rate, and their liquidity ratio is also incredibly strong, but their free cash flow isn't actually increasing as nicely as we would like to see, especially for a company as big as Tesla. But this could definitely be a stock in which could see massive upside if Jerome Powell was to be fired. Another company that could see massive upside in this time is actually Palantir. I know what you're thinking. Why Palantir? They're currently at nearly a 500 PE, and they are definitely overvalued, same as Tesla currently. I have a intrinsic valuation for Palantir to be set well down below if I can find it. I have an intrinsic value set on the bullish side to only be at $11 and on the bearish side to be at $6, with a discounted free cash flow analysis putting Palantir's growth in a 9 years basis only at $83, which is still below where we currently are. We can see that this is a relatively fair position to label a sell. However, again, if they were to see a rate cut, Palantir would definitely benefit. Why? Well, because government contracts plus AI plus future tech buzz will definitely lead to an increase in Palantir's share price, as the government will be most likely able to spend more on its government contracts within Palantir, leading to more revenue, of course. Companies in which would of course see massive increases are in the fintech space. For example, SOFI. SOFI is a company in which I have to be massively undervalued. Down here, if I can find it. On the bullish side here, I have the intrinsic value for SOFI to be all the way up at $145, and on the bearish side to be set at 73, with a margin of safety of 25% on these positions. You can see an acceptable buy price at 108 on the bullish side and 55 on the bearish side. If we go in between the two of these here, I have an intrinsic value set at 109 and an acceptable buy price of 82, and the current price is set at $10.98. So this could definitely be a bargain of a stock, and especially if rate cuts were to happen, SOFI would see a lot of new customers taking out loans and therefore increasing revenue for SOFI. Furthermore, if we look here on SOFI, this is one of the only stocks which has actually increased its intrinsic value within the last couple of months. Now, this is a new system in which I am developing at the moment, but we can see that this has actually increased, especially on the bullish side. However, on the bearish side, it has gone from $90 all the way down to $74, but this is still massively above where the current position is at around $11. And this is most likely to the hike in AAA bond yields. On a retention rate, SOFI is doing absolutely amazing, with their recent quarter coming all the way in at 45% on a retention basis, which is just absolutely incredible. And on a liquidity ratio, they're not doing as well as you would ideally like to see them, with the mean coming in at 0.81, which means for every dollar of debt in which this company owes, they only have about 80 cents to pay this back in. And where it really does fall off for SOFI is their free cash flow. This company has been public, well, it was founded in 2011, so you would expect to see a free cash flow much stronger than it currently is. It's not something in which especially a fintech company should be particularly proud of, so it does cast a bit of doubt on SOFI stock. But next up, we're going to be looking at a stock in which could potentially offset this doubt in the fintech space, and this stock is of course Robinhood. Now, Robinhood doesn't actually look to be as undervalued as SOFI, but it definitely does still look to be undervalued. On the bullish side here, we can see an intrinsic value set at $83, and on the right, it is set at $45, with the current price being at $41. This stock does look to be a buy. But when you do add a margin of safety of 25% onto the bearish side here, we can see an acceptable buy price is set at $34, indicating that this stock is actually not something in which you should buy into. But if we do go on the mean of these, we can see an acceptable buy price of 64.77 and an acceptable buy price of 48, which is obviously above where we currently are, indicating that this stock is actually a buy. Looking at Robinhood's free cash flow, we can see that this is definitely an improvement on SOFI's, but Robinhood is definitely a more renowned company. It definitely has its foot in the door of fintech more so than SOFI. But when we conduct a discounted free cash flow analysis for Robinhood, we can see that this is actually not looking particularly good at all. We can see here that this stock is actually worth minus $32 within the next 9 years, but of course that is accounting for the lack of growth and the volatility within Robinhood's free cash flow. Again, this is something in which they can definitely aim to improve on. So if you are looking to get into some of the innovation stocks, but you don't want to hedge all your bets on SOFI, Robinhood, Palantir, because they do often have quite high PE ratios and can seem a bit risky, then maybe an ARK ETF is what might suit you best. This is basically an innovation ETF. This is an ETF which is managed by Cathie Wood. It aims to invest in brand new industries, creating a new world that works, and it is key to say that most of these companies are actually not profitable yet, but in the future, these could be absolutely huge. We can see here that in the last 5 years that it hasn't actually done that well at all, but if you were looking to hedge your bets a bit more broadly, an ETF could be the one for you. And if you're looking to get out of the world of stocks and you're looking at some crypto, then Bitcoin could definitely be a solid play. Typically, Bitcoin thrives when interest rates drop, the dollar weakens, and liquidity floods the system. This would all happen if Jerome Powell was to be replaced by a dovish Fed chair. But in my opinion, recent times have shown that Bitcoin is correlating to closely with the US economy, which could definitely lead to a sell-off within Bitcoin if the broad ETFs within the US economy were to see a sell-off as well. For example, if the S&P sees a sell-off, I think typically nowadays Bitcoin also sees a bit of a sell-off. And when you pair this with the news of tariffs, people are supposedly losing the spending power of their dollar. In theory, that's meant to strengthen Bitcoin. However, I think it is actually doing the opposite now. But if you don't want to open a crypto wallet, then you could just invest in a company in which does this for you. This could be Coinbase, for example. This is a crypto wallet company, and it generally correlates quite nicely with cryptocurrency movements. For example, here we can see when Bitcoin rose, the amount of accounts being opened through Coinbase would obviously rise, therefore increasing their revenue. So with the Fed currently being independent, personally, and I think the general consensus is this is exactly how it should stay. We don't want to see government take over the Fed, as it could lead to a lot of uncertainty within the US economy. This would definitely lead to a sharp drop-off within the US economy. Like I've said here, the Fed is like a referee in a football match. You do not want to see the coach, or in this case the government, yelling at the ref to make biased calls for their team to win. You want a fair game, even if your favourite team loses once in a while. And manipulation of interest rates could definitely help. The US national debt, that is a certainty, and it could lean into a more sustainable future for the US economy as the dollar does eventually weaken. This will obviously increase bond yields, as investors will likely seek a safe haven for their money. Bond yields offer exactly this. I do expect that gold will most likely see an increase. It is, of course, at an all-time high right now, and the difference between gold and silver is also at an all-time high right now. So we would like to see silver match up a bit closer to gold, and that is something in which we could potentially see if this was to happen. And of course, the VIX, the volatility index, will see a spike as well. But this is all going off of the assumption that Jerome Powell will resign or be fired or leave under some sort of mysterious circumstances, and that is not something in which we can say is necessarily going to happen, but it does look to be more likely than ever currently. So let me know in the comments, do you think this is a likely move for the US government to make? Do you really think Jerome Powell will likely be fired in the next coming weeks to months? And if so, what are you going to do with your investments? Are you looking at putting them in safe havens like bonds, gold, silver, commodities in general, or are you just going to hold and ride this problem out? If you think I've missed anything in this video, please do leave a comment in the comments below. I'll be sure to read them all, as I don't get many comments anyway. So with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this video and found it somewhat useful. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is, of course, financial advice. With that being said, I will see you for the next video.